cute. You look,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
How are you doing in your bougie place?
You gotta
With your
come
bougie breakfast and your bougie coffee?
I ain't even got it yet. I've just arrived.
That's good. Okay, well, I've got my coffee with my Beyonce cup.
Of course. Good morning, Daniela.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. How are you today?
Hi. Good. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming to Ladies Tea Latte. Is this your first time here?
Yes, my first time. Yeah.
I think we're the ones who break people's virginity and Ladies Tea Latte. It's the truth. I don't know why London Bridge seems to be able to do that. But yes, you know there are others Ladies Tea Latte groups, yeah?
No.
Yeah. So every area groups.
Okay.
They're run by different people. But yeah, ladieswholatte.com houses a list of the rest of them, just so you know. Yeah?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks.
I thought it was just you guys. I thought it was just you and Serena who were fronting it all.
No, we've been going for 8 years. So I know the owner who said, Mary, she said to me recently, oh, you're the longest running group. And I was like, are we? I didn't realize. But there used to be like quite a few. Lockdown ended quite a lot. But what happened was a lot of people joined together in areas. So there's groups now. So yeah, no, we're not the only ones. There's loads of us. There's loads of Lady Tea Latte, not just London Bridge. And we kept to being online as well because we were trialing it to see, because some people can't, it's long to make it. So we're keeping it online for the first hour and then we're doing physical in our lovely venue after. So if you ever fancy it, you two can come on down, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I know I think it's 6 or 7 ladies registered for online. Let me just check. No, 8. So that probably means 4 will come. I don't know why I don't make up the rules. Seems to be a pattern. Every time it's always half the number who register attend. So it's weird, but we understand it. And I'll give it 2 more minutes to have people turn up while I just run and go get some drinks. 1 minute. You can network between yourselves, okay? Introduce each other.
Hi, Camille.
Yeah, hi, Daniela. So what do you do? Where are you from?
So I live in East London. I'm originally from Italy, and I'm a hypnotherapist.
Okay, nice. So yeah,
What about you?
I live in Northwest London, and I am a arts and cultural partnership manager. And I do that for Brent. So I live in Brent and I work in Brent, and I'm a parent in Brent. So I know the area, I know the wards, I know the schools. So yeah, but arts and culture is right up my street. That's what I love. It's what I'm about. It's what I promote. And particularly with young people and giving young people opportunities, promote critical thinking, and try and put pathways into the creative industries.
Oh, that's really cool. I've studied creative writing as well at uni. And then also I kind of like recently become a hypnotherapist in January. But when I set up my business, the idea is to combine journaling and mindfulness, because I'm also a mindfulness teacher. So I host this kind of like workshop for women and non-binary people where we mix journaling and mindfulness. So yeah, I love that mixture of creativity and
well, it's expressing yourself, isn't it? And it's finding the right forum for you. See, when you talk about writing, I know people who do creative writing, but I also know people who write songs, who do poetry, and even thinking about little people. You have little people who can write poems, then do illustrations, and then you could publish your own book.
I was actually like a mentor for a charity in East London. It's called Ministry of Stories, and they work with kids from Hackney, and it's all about them like writing. And honestly, the stories that they come up, I was like, I don't even have this imagination. Like honestly, I was like,
No, you did.
Yeah, my mind was
Haddock.
Yeah, when you were a
one.
kid, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, they just have, yeah, they come up with stories and you're like, oh my God, like how did you even, you know, yeah,
But
it was
that's,
just
I think, the
incredible.
beauty of reading. Reading sparks your imagination, so that, you know, you might describe walking down a path, but your brain visualizes that path. It visualizes the wind and the leaves and all those feelings. But like I say, for me, when it comes to little people, the fact that you could say to a child, you can get a book published. You don't have to wait for Penguin. You can write your own poems. I'm only saying this because I was saying this to one of my godchildren the other day in East London, yeah, in Canning Town.
Oh.
And she had, one of the aunties had given her like a Stormzy book. So she didn't even realize that it was published through Murky. Yeah. So I said, you know that Murky's actually Stormzy? Yeah. She's like, oh my God, I didn't realize. I'm like, okay. So you know that he gets paid every single time this book is sold. Yeah. He's getting a percentage. So my whole thing was to her was, you know, you could get all your poems, you could type them up, you do the illustrations, okay? So that you have all that, and then you get it published, and then you have full ownership, and that's your creation. She was just like, oh my God, auntie. I said, yeah. But if you keep talking, I'll want my own percentage. But I think the concepts now, particularly coming through 2020, is ownership. Because before, people didn't think, and we're talking about books, but it could be anything, that some people didn't realize, what, I could own that. Yeah, you can. You know,
it's true.
Be the power of your destiny.
Thank you for networking, ladies. So, because I wasn't here, if Danielle can tell me about Camille, and Camille tell me about Danielle. Thank you.
Love that. Yeah. So Camille lives in Northwest London, works in Brent, is a parent in Brent, and works for arts and culture. So arts and culture is her passion, with young people, little people, try and spread like this, passion for the arts and the creativity, and how, you know, they can help you shape your story, you know, spark your imagination, become, I believe, also a better person.
I love that. Thank you. I can remember you had a very long title, Camille.
Yeah, I didn't bore Daniela with it, yeah. But the interesting thing was in thinking about the synergy of our work, even though our work is very different, but we were talking about mindfulness, because Daniela was talking about creative writing, mindfulness. Did you say hypnotherapy as well?
Yeah, hypnotherapy, yeah.
And that's what you do, creative writing, hypnotherapy, and mindfulness.
And mindfulness, yeah.
Ooh, I love it.
With women and non-binary people, so like that's kind of like my target. You know, the people I work with are mainly just women, and yeah, people who identify as women.
So what kind of projects have you been working on lately?
Yeah, so I set up my own business in 2020 September. Yeah. And as I was still working full time though, and basically like the idea was to just do workshop that kind of like combine mindfulness and journaling for women. So that's how I started, and obviously the majority of them were online. And then I decided also to qualify as a hypnotherapist, because I just wanted to help women even better and on a one-to-one basis. So here I went to become a hypnotherapist. So yeah, kind of like trying to juggle the one-to-one and the workshops, which I'm still like delivering online.
Okay, I know the first 2 years in business is you're kind of finding your feet
and stuff. Yeah.
But I know you may start with one service and realize, oh, people are actually asking me for another, so let me provide that over there. So yeah, my name's Marcia Brock, you may know. I started a project management company. I've been saying it's like 16 years. It's 17 years ago. 17 years ago, I think it was yesterday. 17 years anniversary yesterday. And it's only because of Facebook memory. It was a Facebook memory that reminded me. That's when I started it. And we have transitioned over the years. We've done, my background is tech, Cisco networking, Microsoft networking. And I kind of put it into computer networking, then business networking, and people networking, all under the brand Smart. The company's called Smart World. We've got a children's charity called Smart Kids that was founded with my daughters. And we've done lots of different impactful projects, impactful companies, impactful co-founders, impactful movements in the community. So yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So yes.
You had an event recently, didn't you?
Quite a few. Which one?
One of the kids is kids.
Okay, yes. So we teach children how to set up a business in, I think it's 90 minutes. It might be, yeah, it's around 90 minutes. They learn to write a business plan, know who their target audience is, and what is it, their USP. So it's beautiful. Now, like, as I came in hearing you talk about how creative children are, and it amazes me every single class because they come up with viable businesses that can be very practically put into place. So yeah, it's the next journey to support them with that, I guess. But yeah, so far we've been doing that for years. We do it like seasonally. We used to do it with Metro Bank in their spaces because they needed to fill a need of getting a certain amount of children for their corporate responsibility, and they couldn't take having. No, like classes are like 75 now, isn't it? No, like year groups from primary school with free school admissions in London anyway. And they couldn't take having 75 kids all at once turning up. So they were like, if you can do little blocks of them, we'll tick our boxes. So Serena's project worked really well doing that. Serena's my co-host. Speak and she arrives. Good morning. She's here, just about. So
Hi.
I say her name, she walks through. So Serena runs the delivers the Biz Kids what's it called, entrepreneurial teaching to kids, and it's always fascinating, it's always amazing, we love it. Yes, so you refer your young people. We have another one happening in June. Right.
So cool.
So
Wow.
we have Camille and we have Danielle and we have myself and Serena now. Oh,
And then there's an antique.
and Antique's not on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Antique, how you doing? Antique, you're on mute, we can't hear you.
Hi.
Hi Antique, how are you?
Hi.
Hello, nice to see you. I'm gonna maybe turn my video on later.
Okay, that's fine. All right, if you give an introduction to us for us, please, Antique. I'm gonna move this camera.
Oh, okay. So, like, what do you do and all of that stuff?
Yeah, who are you? What do you do? And why are you here today?
So I'm a professional singer-songwriter and spoken word artist, and I also do creative growth and development with young people and women's groups. And yeah, why am I here? Because I like to network.
Well, Antique is aligned with what myself and Daniela do. So just in terms of about the
Oh
writing
wow.
and
Amazing.
women and young people. So you're in the right place.
I met Camille before. Yeah, she's the Black British.
No, I knew your face. I knew your face.
And I see where, but it's been a hot minute
been a
since we've
long time.
actually seen each other.
Yeah. Oh, nice to see you.
You too, online.
So, I would do both Danielle and Camille. I'll do a brief about Camille. Camille lives in North, working in Brent,
But
supporting.
you just say Northwest, you can't just leave it at North. Sorry.
Sorry.
That puts me up in Tottenham. I done Tottenham. I'm back in Northwest London. Sorry. Let's get that correct, right?
Far north. You're in far north.
Carnival territory. Come on.
She has a very long title, which is like cultural arts, community engagement officer, something like that. I was close, innit? Title doesn't matter. She gets to do all the creative things with children in Brent and gets to And she said there's like every borough should have a team of these people.
Yes.
Do well, yeah, not every borough, but
Oh,
Lambeth has one. Lewisham has just been awarded Borough of the Culture. So my role is a legacy project from the Borough of Culture 2020. Brent was Borough of Culture 2020, but it was in lockdown, so a lot of things were online. Lewisham has just been awarded Borough of Culture, which means that at the end of the year, they should have someone like me continuing to embed arts and culture into the borough. But it means that Lewisham has money. It means that they have money to do activities. Because if you're Borough of Culture, then what are you doing? But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
And you're gonna tell me where to hit for that funding.
Yeah, because so what I've done recently and what I quite like about my current role, actually all of my roles have allowed me to be me, because I'm a bit of a maverick. So it's better that I have roles that, yeah, allow me to be myself. But I've just recently spoken to a local radio station. So I'm getting a youth slot. So every month, young people will have their own slot, like 2 hours to talk about community issues, social issues, or promote what's happening in Brent, because that's what I'm about. Is there's loads of things happening, but who knows? How do you find out what's happening? Yeah. And young people aren't on Facebook, they're not on LinkedIn. Yeah, it's social media. So it's also promoting the apps in the borough. I've also spoken to our local newspaper. They're also going to give us a slot now that young people who are budding journalists, writers, they will have their own page, as much as working with like Wembley Arena. I've got a big music, not my project, but I'm helping get 40 young people to work at Wembley Arena, whether it's backstage, doing videography, working with the VIPs. We've obviously got the Euros happening in Wembley, the final. So we're going to have like 100 dancers dancing to holograms. I mean, bare things. So it's about me.
Holograms.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, I can't remember if it was Korea or China or one of those Olympics. They had big holograms up in the sky. But what it is they're going to have 100 dancers choreographed to move along with these holograms for the women's Euros.
That's good.
There's nothing going on.
I was going to say, have you seen that UK Youth have an app for young people that tells them different things that are going on and gives them rewards?
How is it?
I will check out UK Youth because I know them. But what it is, we've also got a guy in Brent, because also it's about promoting Brent businesses and Brent artists. So there's a guy in Brent who's also launching his own app called Slinky, who I'm actually going to support. I'm actually going to put art opportunities on there and help promote him. But I can promote UK Youth. I can promote anybody.
But it's the other way around. They'll promote you on their app. So if young people go on their app, so you can tell the guy as well from Slinky that he can put his details in there, and they encourage young people to sign up. They get these rewards. They can put them towards different things that they want to do.
Love it.
The whole last year they did a whole like 3-month campaign of like training youth organizations how to get young people to come to get on the app. But yeah, contact them. It might,
No, I will do, because you know that Mobos have also got an app called Mobilize. So I'm just conscious, I've been looking at all different kind of effective communication tools that young people use, and apps is definitely one of them. So I'll definitely check that out.
Anything they can do on their phone, they're into it.
You know that. I mean, I can keep talking, but I want other people to.
Oh, Daniela am I saying it right, Daniela?
Yeah.
Daniela does mindfulness and creative writing with hypnotherapy that she recently trained into. She started a business almost 2 years ago, come September. Happy anniversary coming up. And she's loving working with her clients. Yeah.
Yay.
Serena will be herself now.
As I need to sneeze.
Oh.
I think it's gone, but sorry. Yeah, so obviously I'm Serena. I work with Marcia on different projects. I'm a project management consultant. I have my own company. Me and Marcia do some work together. We founded We Rock, which is an organisation that does events around International Women's Day and International Men's Day, promoting positive activities and role models for young people and families. I also work for lots of different organisations, supporting them to grow, develop strategically. Yes, I do a lot of stuff with women, female entrepreneurs. So I usually run a retreat, but that's been kind of on hiatus for the last, must be 3 years now.
Yeah, 2019.
I've, written a workbook and stuff like that. So I'm just about to start working on my program and getting it out there. But yeah, I do lots of things, but they're all project management related.
No, one of them's a producer for a show.
Yeah, so we did a TV series. We started in the UK and then we moved it to Brussels. And it was broadcast in 16 countries across West Africa.
Wow.
And now we're redoing it. So we do it as a theatre show as well. So at the moment in Brussels, they are running theatre shows, but I am not going anywhere until everything settles down. So I'm not there, but they're doing it. So, yeah. Well, my business partner. Yeah.
She does so much other things. So she got the Lambeth Schools Patrol too. Yeah, the Lambeth Schools Patrol's co-founder is right beside me. Ooh, I get to touch her. And she keeps children safe in the borough of Lambeth. And I know, because I've been screaming it loudly, like, roll it out everywhere.
It's slowly happening. So, but these things take a while, and we're just rebuilding Lambeth Schools Patrol because obviously with the lockdown, we didn't want to send out volunteers. But we'll be back out. It's normally in the summer months when youth, activity is more exciting. So they patrolled central hubs in Lambeth, and we started with Brixton because 20,000 young people transition through Brixton every day. And so our patrol officers will walk up and down the high street, befriending, supporting young people and parents, signposting them if necessary. And they get a really good feedback on their presence because obviously they're not the police, they're not community members who are finding youth to be antisocial. They're even the market police, the market security really like that when young people, there's an issue with young people, that we can intervene. So it's been working really, really well, but we're just relaunching back out because of obviously lockdown and all the issues with COVID. So we're always looking for volunteers, and we recently run the community meeting for the young girl. I don't know if you know that outside Stockwell Police Station. Well, in Stockwell, a young lady, a young Eritrean Muslim girl, she was inappropriately searched on the street, and so we set up the meeting for that and called the police in, counsellors, everybody who needed to be there to answer questions from the community. And then there's some outcomes that have come out of that will support the community going forward.
Do you have any links to Haringey?
We do have links in Haringey. So I've just been speaking to Father, and we had a connection with, oh my goodness, now. I know it's not Haringey, but it's Hackney VCS. So okay. They do a lot of work with, they do have some partnership with Haringey. So there's a few organisations, but off the top of my head, I can't remember them.
I was just thinking, in Haringey, the last 2-3 weeks, there's been a lot of violent youth behaviour. It's been kicking off on the high street. So and Haringey is quite vibrant anyway. But when you're talking about school patrols, I know that probably the school improvement teams, like one of my colleagues is supporting Haringey. I think they would lap up your offer, your package, because when the young people go crazy in Wood Green, there's like 50 or 60 of them. It's no joke.
I did see that that footage about what happened in Wood Green. Yeah, we have a whole package, a training package, because every volunteer has to go through leadership and mentoring training. They also get emergency first aid, self-defense, mental health training, just as standard. If they, you know, like if they don't pass the LMP training, which is like looking at your emotional, how you address things, how it impacts you, what your triggers are, that kind of thing, then we look at different ways to include them in the schools patrol, but they won't necessarily be out on the road with the young people. So there's a whole package of how we, you know, like best practice, how we develop the schools patrol that we're sharing with other boroughs.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Everybody communicating and connecting. So I know we're all here to network. So what is it that you need from networking today, ladies?
Good question.
Is there a need? It doesn't have to be a need.
Sometimes there is. No, like you're thinking, I really would like to find a connection with this or a connection with that. I know I definitely want to do more youth stuff with Smart Kids going forward, a bit more impactful stuff that really make a big difference long term. So that's the need I am thinking of. I don't know how it will come from today, but that's what I've been needing.
I don't have any specific needs. I'll be honest with you, it's my birthday month, yeah? So I thought I could do a little bit of Ladies Who Latte in my birthday month, just simply be around women who are doing what they're doing. That is really what I'm seeking from today, is just like-mindedness, that kind of inspiration, a fresh start, because it's a morning meeting. So means that I'm going to crack on with my day, but I would have met some interesting people. That's me personally, is really what I'm looking. I'm in a good place. Life is good. The sun is shining. Plenty of people celebrating life. So I'm about celebrating life every day where I can. So that's me. I'm already getting the nourishment that I need.
Amazing.
What about yourself? Was that Auntie going to talk, or did I just cut it?
I think that
It was Daniel. Go.
Whichever. I'm here because honestly, like, networking is not probably like my best skill, because I'm quite shy, but I do love stories. I do love listening to stories, and that was actually like what inspired me as well to kind of like create my own business, was because I was going through like a very tough time at work, and then this was before lockdown. So I tried to kind of like go to more events for women especially, and I was hearing their stories, like women coming from like different parts of the world, like different backgrounds. And I just kind of like saw that some of the themes were kind of like always present, like for us women, in a sense of like, you know, the way we feel at work and being overwhelmed and being stressed. So, and obviously like all the story of joy, but also the story of like overwhelming, like that was one of the word that kept going on, or like women that felt stuck in their career, you know. And for me, that was kind of like, that would inspire me to say, okay, like if this is what's going on, what can I do, you know, to kind of like do my part. So I'm always like inspired by listening to stories of other women and how they managed to grow, you know, through adversities and whatever. So for me, it's very inspiring to just listen to your stories and listen, like, you know, hearing all the amazing stuff that you do is like, wow. So yeah, just connecting, because I feel like I haven't done this in ages. So it's always good to connect.
Yes, I always think it is good to connect. We're here every month, have been for the last almost 8 years, come September. And I think it's a positive thing to always network and have like-minded conversations with women in business, because we bring a different dynamics to the table when we're networking, I've found. What about yourself, Auntie?
Well, I was speaking to Marcia this morning on WhatsApp, and she was like, I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm getting ready for Ladies at Latte. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I was like, let me come along. I've been before, and it's always been really like uplifting and inspiring and all that jazz. And yeah, right now I'm just in hospital, and I still want to do things that make me feel kind of like uplifted. So I thought I'd come on. It's always nice to be around other like-minded women like yourselves, and yeah, that's why I'm here today anyway.
Thank you. All right, so we have around 10-15 minutes before the computer says no. So is there any questions in the room for women in business? Business question that you have in regards to what you're doing or want to be doing? We're happy to find one and we can all share an answer because we want to make it something relatable to what you need.
I do have a question. Like when you kind of like set up your own business and you were actually starting out, how did you actually find like the first connection, the first, whether it was clients, whether it was like partnership, like how did you manage that? I guess both on an emotional level, because it is a bit of a roller coaster, right? Like you get loads of no's and sometimes a yes. So on an emotional level and like practical level, like how did you put yourself out there and find the first people that actually believe in you, kind of?
For me personally, my background's tech, so I worked with a lot of businesses fixing their computers anyway. So our conversations would arise different needs. And I done a thing called a business health check, and it kicked open the door to learning what companies needed. So I just kind of provided what I realized they needed. That's how I kind of started. And doing project management, you're always kind of thinking of solutions. So yeah, it's finding solutions. If I see a problem, I'm like, oh, okay, let's see how we can fix that. So yeah, I say my first 2 years was kind of crazy. I had an aim for like 25 projects. I got it, but then I got really ill. I had a type of brain cancer and couldn't deliver on 20. I couldn't deliver on any of them, but 20 of them waited 2 years for me to come back. And that kind of gave me an understanding of the USP that I had, and then just carried on building from there. Word of mouth back then was really key. Social media was non-existent. And my thing about tech and getting companies on social media, it was MySpace back then, and some of our like apps back then, and getting businesses on there was a thing that I used to do, and buying different websites and domains to set up for companies or sell back to big name companies was a trick I did as also. But there was lots of different things I just had to find solutions for. So I just listened to their need and see how I can provide it best, or signpost them, share, tap into what's already there without recreating too many things, getting partnerships that way. I found that works as well. Yeah.
Also, I think it's believing in what you do as well. Because if you believe in it, then people buy into you. So I think in terms of all the things I know that, for instance, Marcia does, I buy into you, Marcia. Do you know what I'm saying? So you could have loads of people doing what you do, but I think people also buy into your personality and who the seller is. Because that's why sometimes you could want to sell mobile phones, or go to South London and say you want to have a hair shop. There's bare hair shops. But my thing is, I don't care, because you're buying into me and my service. Yeah. How many chicken shops can you have? I don't care. If my recipe is the one, then people will I've traveled across town for food because the food's been that good, or I've bought into the person who's selling the food. So sometimes I think it's about also who you are, and if you believe in your product or you believe in your service, then people buy into you. And that's also where word of mouth comes in, because people think, no, I like you, I want you to do well, I'm going to promote your business,
Yeah. And I try to my best, I can't always, but try to my best to deliver on what I say I'm going to do, and have that, like, I like to see companies grow. And yeah, so that's a passion of mine. I love seeing people's businesses grow, and it makes some impact or effect, even if it's their impact as well. But yeah, I like that. What about you, Serena? Yeah.
I'm a bit like you. So I'll do networking. It's not really like my thing that I really enjoy the most, but a lot of my work has come through word of mouth, you know, doing things for people and then they tell others. But I think putting yourself in places where you think your clients will be, that's helpful, and just having genuine conversations with people and knowing that not everybody is your client. So I may have a conversation with someone who needs some project management support or some mentoring around their business. But then it doesn't necessarily mean that we'll gel. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be the one that takes them to where they need to be. So, you know, being prepared to have conversations with people and not always have, and know that they're not always going to be the person you work with, but you can say to them, but I know someone who does this, I know someone who does that. The more genuine you are with people, the more likely they are to remember you and share what you do. And I think so being part of Ladies Who Latte, because I was attending for years before we even decided to set up one. But from that, like, I made so many different connections with people. They remember you, like they'll see you somewhere and, oh yeah, Serena, oh, there's a lady over there I can introduce you to, you know, like, or I've had people say, I've had your card for 2 years and now now I need this kind of support, can you help me? And being real about what you can and can't do. Because some people, what they've decided in your head you can do and what you can actually do. You know, I'm still a human being. Like
I call her Super Serena, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm still a human being. I can get stuff wrong, or you know, like that's not my niche. And just being real about what you can and can't do, and being ready to say no if it doesn't work for you, or you know, sometimes, you know, if you're working with a client and they're not progressing, and it's not necessarily something you're doing, it's just their lack of activity. And then, you know, when you get to the end, they're gonna blame you. So being ready to have those conversations where, like, you know, at this point, I would expect that you would be here. These are my thoughts around why that's not happening. For me, it doesn't make sense if you keep spending your money with me if we're not gonna, you know, move forward. But yeah, just I think honesty and authenticity are like going to be your key thing, but you are going to have to talk to people and get out there and let people know that you exist. I personally don't really use social media that well.
I drugs her a little bit.
Yeah,
a lot.
And, yeah,
right, a lot.
And the reality is I don't get any clients from that, so it's not a problem for me. But find what works for you, you know. That's my best.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so I know it's going, we have 1 minute and 49 seconds to go. So it was lovely networking with you ladies. If you do ever have time to come on down, we'd appreciate seeing you and coming to all of this splendor. But if not, we can always do online. We're still trialing it. We've got till July to decide what we're actively for doing, both or just one. We'll see. Yeah, what the survey says. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you so much for your time.
Week.
Yeah, you too. Have a good day.
Bye.
Lovely to meet you all. Thank
Nice to
you.
meet Daniela.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
I'm hungry. It's like, let's go.